Hello people, it's Angelo again and welcome to another video. And I'm going to say this video is another concept idea video that I started thinking about after I made a comment about the same subject in a comment section on another video about ESBC, what was talking about the title belts and all such for career mode. And I was just thinking, oh, I just slapped myself with my phone. But yeah, I was just thinking, oh, you know what, this is actually a pretty good idea. I wonder how they'll do that type thing. And so I decided, you know what, let's do a video talking about how a tournament system would work in career mode. Of course, it's not all going to be the same. Like, I'm sure people would know that from amateurs to pro, there's going to be a difference in how the tournaments work. So let's first off kick in amateurs, just because that's the easiest one to talk about. In tournament amateurs, mainly I would say have it as a way to like prepare people for going pro. Like, hey, there's this amateur tournament going to decide who's the top amateur, you want to take part, and it will have like higher level, lower level, like what you would face in the lower level pros, like those type of people would be the type of people you find in these tournaments. And maybe like the guy who makes it to the final might be like a mid-range pro, and so it would give you a bit of a challenge there. And that's really what I would say amateur tournaments should be around. It should be sort of being like, okay, let's prepare you for the pros, let's prepare you for the next stage of the career mode, but not immediately force you into the pro to get that kind of difficulty. That's sort of how I would say the amateur tournament should sort of work. And of course, for a decent prize pool of like cash and like trophies and such things, should be the kind of things you get. And of course, you'll just get for a basic offer, like your coach going, hey, there's this tournament running. Or maybe even the tournament will be like, hey, you're like one of the top amateurs, do you want to take part in this tournament? And that's sort of how the amateur tournaments would work. It would sort of be a basic, like, set of fights that get you a reward that will sort of help you when you go actually pro, because you're more prepared and you've got like more cash and such things from doing these tournaments, and you've got more recognition due to trophies and such. Of course, into actual pro tournaments, they're going to be a sliver bit different, because they're going to start adding in like, well, there's going to be more recognition, like title belt recognition. Like if you win a trophy, it's like you may get a boost in the rankings. You're also going to get bigger paydays. You're also maybe going to have more difficult challenges than you would have in the amateurs, because it's going to be sort of like, there's going to be like top level fighters who may appear in these tournaments. So you may just have like a top 10 fighter randomly appear in the tournament if it's a high enough like notoriety tournament. Of course, how would the tournaments actually be laid out is also a thing I should go over, because I talked about, oh, this is what the tournaments would be for, like this is why you'll do the tournaments, this is how you get into the tournaments. But how would the tournaments actually be laid out? I actually have 3 ideas on how to lay out a tournament. The first one would be a round robin system, what I think is the least likely to be done, because it'd be a bit weird and difficult. Well, not difficult, it'd just be a bit weird and out there in my opinion, but it could still be done if they so choose to implement it. What would be, you fight a bunch of other fighters, whoever wins the most fights ends up winning the tournament. Or if there's a draw and 2 fighters actually have the same score, or like 3-4 fighters have the same score, they sort of do eliminators until one's remaining. And that's sort of how the first tournament would go. Very basic, very simple, round robin style tournament. The next one would be like a tournament where you have more time to recover. So it's like round 1 would be 1 night, and then round 2 would be another night, round 3 would be another night, so you'd have recovery periods to rest, like, and it won't all be on the same day. It would be like, okay, you have proper recovery period, you can regain yourself, you can recollect yourself, you're not risking like injury or something because you have a recovery period in the tournament. And then the other variation will be a 1-night tournament where it's like you face a bunch of people in like not in a row, but on the same night, so you can recover a tidbit, but you're not going to be recovering everything. You're still going to be drained, you're still going to be feeling the effects of like your fights, and it's not going to be all sunshines and rainbows, and it'll probably be more difficult to win, because you'll actually be, if you're reckless and you get hurt during one of the fights, you're going to be very struggling, and you're going to be struggling the next fight, and so you're going to be more careful in these fights. You're going to have to make sure you don't overdo yourself, you've got to pace yourself there, and it'll sort of be like a challenge for those higher level players to go in, where they like, yeah, I want to take a risky thing because it gives me the most reward. Because I would say these 1-night tournaments should be the larger reward tournaments, like they should give you the best rewards, because it's like, well, it's the most risky because it's all in 1 night, you're retaining damage, so you're more at risk of losing your O if you're an unbeaten fighter, and it'll give you more notoriety because you beat all these guys in one night. And that's really how I would lay out, like 3-4 fights in one night to decide an overall winner of the tournament, and that's how it would work. Anyway, that's really all I've got to say, people, so I hope you enjoyed this. Please do leave a comment suggesting your own ideas on what you want to see in the game, what you think the tournament system should be like, what kind of rewards you want to see from it, what kind of, like, designs would be what you want from the tournament. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, it really does help out, and subscribe and hit the bell for notification icon and turn it to max to stay up to date with all future videos. With that said though, I will leave you now and see you in the next one. Peace out.